Okay, so we are doing Bailey's. What do you call that? Uh, Bailey's
Let's
story.
start with
Uh,
yes.
Bailey's situation. So basically, preparing for the meeting, we were given Bailey's test scores and they were not where they needed to be at. So I would prepare for this meeting by gathering that data, and I would gather the data from her test scores, point out exactly where in the data she's not meeting the level she needs to be at, and I would highlight the standards that she's struggling with, that kind of causes her to have trouble with these test scores that or with these tests. I would talk about specifically, I would plan to talk about how she struggles with operations and algebraic thinking. And I would plan to state that she struggles with completing and solving multiplication and division problems, utilizing the four operations, finding factors, finding multiples to solve factorization problems, and finding other similar patterns to solve problems. So, I would also plan to say, think about kind of more positive things to say, of course. So, maybe while she does struggle with these mathematical concepts, um, she does well in math and she does well in these other subjects. And it's just this is where she struggles and it's what's causing her to fall behind. And so just being really factual, straight to the point, just planning kind of in advance what I'm gonna say. And then what I would say that I probably had done as a teacher to address Bailey's performance, um, she, as a teacher, I probably would have noticed that she struggles to complete her work in class, but not at home. Or, that's what her mom says, that she didn't struggle to complete it at home. So as her teacher, I would try to create a space where she can be frequently monitored and kept from distractions. And, kind of have that designated work seat for her, so she can, have the focus and the time and, the monitoring that she needs to complete her assignments. Um, and as her teacher, I know that she enjoys writing. So I probably would implement more short answer responses that require Bailey to explain her thinking. Since this is a way that she kind of likes to express herself, I think that would be kind of a good way to expect an answer or response or engagement from her. And then that way I can see exactly what confuses her. So yeah, different seating and different kind of answering response formats. And then, so during the meeting, two goals that I would like to develop with the parent to address Bailey's performance in math. Now, these are SMART goals, so I'm, doing the whole, they're time oriented and realistic and all of that. So I said by the end of April, Bailey will be able to solve 30 multiplication and division problems in under 3 minutes by spending 30 minutes each day in class practicing multiplication and division problems with me or an intervention teacher. So, this is specific, it's targeted at exactly what I would want her to work on. Again, time oriented, time specific. Um, yeah, and attainable. And then the second goal was Bailey will work with me for 15 minutes each day, solving arithmetic problems using the four operations to be able to identify patterns with a maximum of 2 to 3 errors on a worksheet of 25 problems by mid-May. So again, very time oriented, very specific, but again, attainable. That's what we've been working on with her. And it's something that as her teacher, I believe that she'd be able to do. So as far as like developing a plan of action to meet the stated goals. So three strategies I would use to meet these goals is, of course, monitoring Bailey's in-class participation more frequently, even if I am kind of keeping an eye on her before all this, just more frequently, to ensure that she is completing her work in a timely manner in class. And then when it comes to group work, I would probably pair Bailey with a partner who performs at a very similar level to her, but who will make sure that, they both stay on task or at least prevent, from distractions. And as far as like what she would do at home, I would probably send Bailey home with practice work that targets where exactly she struggles with multiplication and division, as well as using the four operations and finding factors and other patterns in arithmetic problems. And I would make sure that many of these practice problems are story-based and include a written response in order to include Bailey's interests. It would also, again, help me see exactly what she struggles with, or, her thinking process as she works through these problems, and we can break that down, take it apart, do what we need to with it. So finally, the communication plan with Bailey's mom. So when communicating with Bailey's mom at a parent-teacher conference, I'll first ask Bailey to walk her mom and me through her thought process as we look at a few of her in-class assignments that she, did not perform so well on. After she explains how she solved her problems or began to solve them, because she doesn't often finish, I'll explain where she went wrong. And by doing this, I'll be able to show Bailey and her mother what exactly we need to focus on as far as where Bailey struggles. And I'll then bring out her scores on her test, as well as the standards that she struggles with. So all of the materials that I had planned to bring. And I'll explain that while she did well with other concepts, she struggles with multiplication, division, and patterns. And I'll go on to show more Bailey's classwork where she did not finish a majority of the assignment, because I do believe that this is the main issue. And I'll explain, or one of the main issues, and I'll explain that for Bailey to get better with the concepts that she needs to work on, she needs to concentrate more on her assignments. I'll explain to Bailey and her mom that the interventions that I plan on implementing are necessary to her success. And I'll ask Bailey and her mother if there's any intervention that they think will help her. I'll then wrap up the meeting by sharing with Bailey and her mom the SMART goals that I created for Bailey, and I'll send them a written and emailed statement home of these goals, as well as the plan of action, so that they can kind of keep it in mind and work on this plan with me actively. So yeah, sorry, that was so long. I feel like I just word vomited.
Okay, so now I just say what I would do.
Yeah, what would you do?
Okay, so to prepare for the meeting, I would gather her her homework that she did not complete in class. I would gather my notes that I took, and I would gather the ACT Aspire scores, and as far as, I gotta go to a different screen so I can see what the other thing is.
Yeah.
Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes.
And you can see me?
Yes.
Cool. So, but yeah, I'd gather all that information. And then I would also gather the interventions that we have been doing with Bailey, and the ones that she's completed with me and also with the interventionist. And I would also get out the manipulatives that we've used, like the blocks and the different things like that, just so her mom can also see that she has some um hands-on learning as well. And um during the meeting, I would start out by saying a positive thing about Bailey, you know, that she is very creative. She is very smart and works well with others. Um, and she does have quite the imagination and she does love to story tell. And so we start out by saying the good things. And then during the meeting, we would develop some goals with Bailey's mom to be able to help her. And one of the goals that I had come up with was the multiplication facts, knowing her ones, twos, fives, and tens, and completing those in 1 minute by December. And then we'll work on um the threes and the fours and the sixes, and then those will be completed by March, and then the rest will be by May. And that's something she can do at home with her mom as well, and also at school with myself and with the interventionist. Um, another goal that I had, I don't know, I thought maybe it would work. I'm not really sure, but just kind of since she's having problems with the um operations and um algebraic thinking, maybe just trying to go back over the fact families, the whole numbers. Um, and so I put that, let me find that. Okay. So I put something like she will be able to find find a 10,
Okay.
like the fact family, and I didn't really word it as a goal. I just like jotted it down because that's what I thought we were doing here. So I didn't necessarily word it as a goal, but I mean, as a goal it could be something like um she will learn, or she will recognize that a whole number is a multiple of each of its factors, and then put by a certain day.
Huh.
Um, and then some strategies um in school would be to continue monitoring. um and also, would it, like, intervention, would that be a strategy?
Like having an intervention teacher or like intervention with the teacher?
Both.
Okay, yeah, I think
Because
so.
like
Absolutely.
we do math small groups, but also I have a para that comes in and pulls a
Yeah,
couple of students out too.
yeah,
And so not during the core
right.
instruction, but during our group time.
Yeah,
And so like she'll take them for 15 minutes and then I could have them for 15 minutes, like we'll switch.
yeah.
And so I wasn't for sure if that would be a strategy or
I think
not.
it would if she's not already in like a small group or like with an interventionist teacher, I think like implementing that would be beneficial.
Yeah. And then I just put that I would send home um like we have the sheets that have one times one times two, the ones that they have to do in a minute. And I just put that I would send home the multiplication sheets for her to practice. and to be timed. I mean, that's something that her and her mom could both do to where she's timed.
Sure.
And then let me see what the other thing was. The communication plan, I don't know. Would that be like I mean, we continue talking and this and that,
Yeah.
but by like a certain day or a certain time, like December, I would test her again and then follow up with her mom and tell
Yeah.
her, what she did, what she didn't do, or have her mom come in so I can show her exactly the ones that she missed. But also from now until December, as we periodically do this time test, then I could contact her mom and let her know, hey, she's having issues with 3 times 7 or, whichever one it is. And then that way her mom can specifically work with her on that. But
I love
I'm
that.
not really sure how to put that into words.
No, I think that's great. I think it's like a personalized progress report, which
Yes.
I mean, what you're doing essentially is just keeping that constant communication with her mom and just
Yes.
keeping her mom in the loop and just making sure that, you know, what's going on here is the same thing that's going on at home and vice versa, you know. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's
And I
good.
think I hit on everything.
Yeah, I think you did too. And you'd probably share like the goals with the mom and just be like, this is what we're trying to target and like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I would have it already wrote out onto a sheet, and then that way the mom would be able to see.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, as a parent, I would rather have something visual whenever I
For
go to
sure.
parent teacher conferences.
Yeah. Same.
So I would have it wrote out,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, that's
um,
okay. Yeah.
so
I like that.
would I like in order to have that on this plan thing that we're supposed to be doing, then I could just say I would have these goals written out for
Yes.
mom to see that, or for mom to have a copy or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be good to say that you would include those goals in the conversation and how you plan to go about executing those goals, like the strategies that you want to implement. And I really love the progress report thing, the personalized report. That's really cool. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah. And talking about oh no, meeting will end in 10 minutes. But yeah, also talking about um kind of throwing in like the positive things
Yes.
about this student. I love that because that's what parents want to hear, you know.
Yes.
I think that's a huge part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Like
And I noticed like on yours, you had mentioned multiplication division. Do you think that I need to add division in there as well?
I think it said the reason I said that is because oh, I thought I had read that. Yes, okay. Struggling with completing her mathematics assignments. Uh
Was it in the standards, I wonder? Because I
I
thought
think
I
I
read
might
that
have
in the
just gotten that.
standards.
Yeah, I think I might have just gotten that from the standards. Okay, and then right under the standards, it says in particular, she's having difficulty with multiplication and division and identifying arithmetic patterns.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. All
I
right.
thought I'd read that too. And then I
Yeah.
focused on multiplication. I was like, I don't need to just focus on multiplication.
I know. I feel like that's like the main thing. It's like multiplication
Yes.
comes first, you know? So and then we move on to division, but she's
Yeah.
struggling with both. All right. Okay. Well, I think we covered everything. I will save this and I guess I'll post it up to YouTube and I'll share the link with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.